Hello and welcome, hardworking individuals. Once an Indian Prime Minister said that we can't change our neighbors. And by saying that, he wanted to say that no matter what, we have to keep peaceful relationship and peaceful dialogues with our neighbors. Who was that Indian Prime Minister? Tell me in the comments. But what I want to say you here is international relation and the foreign policy is very important when it comes to a nation. And to understand it, you need to know the history. History is very important for you to understand the foreign policy or the international relation, because if you don't know about the Cold War era, you will not understand why India went to non-alignment movement, why NAM was coined at that time by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. And if you don't understand NAM, you will also not be able to understand why Panchsheel, the India-China relationship or the ties that happened. And after 1954, we have the Panchsheel. Why then there was this 1962 war between India and China? And what changed in the prospect, in the viewpoint of India after 1962? What was there till 1962? What happens after we have this 1971 war with Pakistan? And why we have the relations as such what we are having with Russia? There must have been some reasons that Russia today is saying that we are going to give you extra 5 to 7% off even after the US tariffs. There should be some reason that US is supplying arms to Pakistan, China is supplying arms to Pakistan. There has to be some reasons that why Bangladesh was formed with the help of India, but then today that very Bangladesh is anti-India in its approach. So there has to be this understanding. To every day when you read the newspaper, you have this international relations topics there. Okay, why you should study IR, that's quite very evident why you should. And you will also get to know about the India's neighborhood relations, what's the historical perspective related to. But not only that, it's also very important from the perspective of exams. If you are a responsible citizen, you should know the international relation. And if you are an aspirant of UPSC or state PCS exam, you should definitely know about it. So now it's upon you. Today is the introductory class. We're just going to get an overview why and how we are going to approach this series of international relations and foreign policy. If you want the PDF of these classes, the very colorful PDF that we have for free, you can join our Telegram channel. And also, if you have any question, at the end of every slide, we have a phone number given. You can ask to any of the educator and it's completely free. And also a very quick info, if you are preparing for TSPSC Group 1 or for TSPSC Group 2 or for the UPSC CSE 2026-27, guys, this is the moment for you. We are giving straight away 50% discount. And if you can call just right away, within 1 or 2 days, you'll get extra discount, and you can call on these numbers given below. Okay, so let's get started with our class today and the international relation. Whatever the international relation we are going to study, it will always be from the point of view, the POV is going to be India. Okay, now from the perspective of the prelims, UPSC prelims examination, if you just see, well, 2017 to 2020, you see there were only 2 to 6 questions coming. 2021, you see 7 to 8 questions. Right away after 2022 to 2025, you see it is 10 and 10 plus questions. Now that's a whopping number. If you are an aspirant who is a serious aspirant, you must know 10 questions can be make or break for any aspirant. And international relation is very interesting. It's not boring. It's something which is alive and kicking. It's not a dead subject. It's building up every day. But its foundation is historical. You need to know the history. You need to know the polity. You need to know the economics. Even science and technology is also related to it because weapons are there. So everything, the society. So if you are reading the international relation, you are reading the history, you are reading the political science, you are reading the society, you are reading the law, you are reading the science. So everything is included there. And that's why IR is becoming day by day very important when we are talking from the sense of the aspirants of the UPSC or the state PCS examination. Now, what will be the nature and the type of questions? So the questions often demands current affairs awareness, particularly on the international groupings, the global corridors, UN declaration, climates and all. Aspirants highlight that its most significant current affairs are tested, hence not all news is relevant. This is very important. When you are reading the newspaper, you should also, by now, if you are a serious aspirant and if you are preparing for more than 6 months, by now you must know that you should not read the whole newspaper. You have to see which news is important for you and which not. And while going through this series of international relation, I'll make sure that you come to know which are the important topics for you to study. Successful preparation often involves topic-wise current affairs taste, and international relation features prominently in these top tier question banks. And the 2025 UPSC prelims, few questions if you see, which of the following launches the Nature Solutions Finance Hub for Asia and the Pacific? And you should know about all this. You should know about the World Bank. You should know about the United Nations Development Program, the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, and also the Asian Development Bank. Now, the next question, if you see, they are talking about the country and reason for being in the news. So, why Argentina was new in the news? Why Sudan was in the news? Why Turkey is in the news? So, what you can do? You can follow our Shikara Academy channel. Every day we give you at least 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 international relations shorts, and we are also coming up with the long videos. So that's what we can offer from our side, and obviously we are here to talk about ourselves, so obviously we'll promote ourselves here. Next question, if you see, it's talking about the Sumit pipeline. Okay, now you are just getting to know what sort of topics are coming in the international relation. Next, if you see, consider the following statement regarding the AI Action Summit held in Grand Palais, Paris in February 2025. Okay, so it's again talking about this summit that has happened. And next, you see, in the finals of the 45th Chess Olympiad held in 2024, Gukesh became the world's youngest winner after defeating the Russian player. Okay, now here they wanted to confuse you, and that's why they have just mixed match something. But this is also coming. So sports and sports related news, and it's also a part of international news because there are international players related to it. Okay, so these are few of the areas that you should concentrate upon. That was the prelims. When we talk about the mains, IR consistently commands 50 marks in the GS paper 2. Then since approximately 2015, the section typically includes 4 questions per year. And historically, even 8 questions were asked in 2013. But then that's something as an exception that you can check. The following IR themes that recur again and again, you should see this. Neighborhood relations. What about the neighborhood relation? The relation between India with Pakistan, India with Nepal, India with Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Maldives, etc. Then the global groupings and the strategic entities like the Quad is there, BIMSTEC is there, SCO is there. You have the BRICS, you have others. Defense and partnership like the Indo-US versus Indo-Russia deals. Now this has become very important, and in this coming examination, you're just going to see about the questions related to Indo-US relationships and the Indo-Russia relationship, the Indo-Russia ties which are way back, and how India was once held by Russia. We are very glad, okay, a lot of gratitude towards Russia, because in 1971 it was Russia who stood for India at that time. Now the diaspora and the soft power, the Indians living abroad, okay, how they create positivity towards the nation, institution, treaties, strategic corridors, like questions on the SCO, the IMO, climate forums, and the global initiatives are also there. Example questions, if you see what questions were asked in 2021 to 2023, you have the questions related to SCO, USA-China rivalry, India-Africa relations. So you also have the questions related to India-Sri Lanka ties, and so on and so forth. You have the questions in the mains examination. Now, what is international relation? International relation is the study of political, economic, and cultural relations between states and other global actors. Now, it includes foreign policy, it also includes diplomacy, international organization, conflicts, war, trade, globalization, and global issues like climate change, migration, and also terrorism is included in the international relation. Now, it is like reading political science, history, economics, law, and sociology together, and also include science in it. As I said you that the parts of the weapons are also related to it. Now, why you should study IR? To understand power dynamics in the world, this is for everyone, for every responsible citizen, for every aware citizen, for every one of you, it is important to analyze India's foreign policy and role in global governance, and to prepare for civil services and policy making, that is GS paper 2 relevance. So for the aspirants, it's anyways very important. And to develop comparative perspective how nations pursue security, economic growth and global influence. Now the key components of international relation, if we can see what are those. So the key components include the foreign policy, objectives, principle and tools through which a nation interacts with others. Tools like the diplomacy, trade, military alliances, treaties, sanctions, cultural exchanges. The international organization like the United Nations, the World Trade Organization, International Monetary Fund and so on and so forth. The global issues, terrorism, climate change, refugee crisis, nuclear proliferation, cyber security, pandemic responses. These are few of the very notable and very important key components. Now the factors which shape the foreign policy, what are those? So geography and borders, for example, Himalayas affect India and China ties, that you know very nicely. Then the economic, the trade needs, energy imports, like right now we are importing oil from Russia, US is putting tariff on us. Strategic priorities, again the security defense alliances, like we had the S-400 from Russia, which we used while the Operation Sindhu. The domestic politics, public opinion, leadership style, coalition politics, you will come to know that why the South Indian politics or the Tamil politics influence our relations with Sri Lanka also. That is something we'll see. The global environment, like the Cold War, post 9/11, like the Israel-Hamas conflict, like the Pahalgam attack, this global environment situation also create the situations for the foreign policy to be set. Like if Pakistan is attacking us, how come we have strategic relations with Pakistan? How come we have peaceful relations with Pakistan? Historical legacy, colonialism, wars, treaties. Now again I said you why Russia is helping India today. Why Russia helped India in 1971? There must have been something that India has also done. Now let's see the phases of Indian foreign policy. So as I said you, 1945 to 1962, India's idealism was non-alignment, punch-seal and NAM leadership. 1962, you have the war with China, and then you have the shift. What is the shift? Security focus after China war, Tashkent Agreement, 1971, Bangladesh liberation war. Now, after 1971, what will happen? 1971 to 1991, regional dominance, nuclear test, till and there will be a tilt towards USSR. Why tilt towards USSR? Because USSR has helped us in 1971. Now, after 1991 to 2012, what we see? We see liberalization, lookist policy, engagement with USA, ASEAN, Pokhran 2 will happen in 1998 under Prime Minister Vajpayee. And then you see from 2012 to 2020-25, what is happening? We are having multi-alignment engages US, Russia, EU, Quad, SCO, BRICS, all these are there, including the climate diplomacy is also happening. And what about now? This time from 2022 to 2025, India's balancing role in Russia-Ukraine war, importing Russian oil, maintaining ties with West, Quad is strengthening, G2 presidency 2023. Now, major theories in international relations. So there are basically four major theories if you see. One is realism, that is states act in self-interest, power is key. What India is saying while purchasing the oil, that it is in the interest of our people. Okay, liberalism, cooperation possible via institutions like UN and WTO. Constructivism, that is identities, culture and norms shape world politics, and the Marxism that focus on economic exploitation and inequality in the global order. Now, India's neighborhood relation, if you see China, with China we have had the border disputes, Doklam 2017 happened, Galwan clash happened, and we also have OBOR concerns, trade imbalances. Right now, when you see, there was the foreign minister of China visiting India, and there is this direct flight starting, the trade passes, the border passes is being opened, and we are also seeing that the rare earths and the tunnel boring machines and the fertilizers, there has been talk that the sanction will be uplifted. Then when you talk about Pakistan, Kashmir conflict, terrorism, wars, recent war was in 2025 Pahalgam attack that was done by Pakistan. When you talk about Nepal, cultural and historical ties, recent tensions over border map disputes, Bangladesh strong economic ties, Tista water issue, connectivity projects, and recently after the ouster of Sheikh Hasina, we see some anti-India policies being there. Sri Lanka fishermen issues, China's presence in Hambantota port. This is something which is related with Russia, we will see. And then Bhutan, political and strategic relations, eco multilateral cooperation, cultural relationship, very peaceful and good relationship with India and Bhutan. Myanmar, if you see geopolitical importance of Myanmar, dimensions of relationship, bilateral cooperation is there. Maldives, maritime border economic and military cooperation, trade agreement in 1981. Recently, there was some tussle, but again, things are looking good. Afghanistan, we had the bilateral cooperation, historical and cultural relationship, friend relation between Afghanistan and India that we can see. So these were few of the neighbors that we have seen. When we talk about India and the world, with US, if you see, we have strategic partner, nuclear deal is there, Quad defense is with the US, then Russia defense and energy partner balancing amid Ukraine war. You see the next Japan, Indo-Pacific strategy, infrastructure and defense partner with India and Japan. Next is West Asia, that is the oil imports, diaspora ties with Israel, UAE, Saudi Arabia and Iran. So Africa and Global South also, the development cooperation, solar alliances, peacekeeping is going on. Recent global developments, if you see from 2020 to 2025, you have to talk about the COVID-19 pandemic, where we did this vaccine diplomacy, India's vaccine mastery. Next is Ukraine war 2022 to present. It is reshaping the global energy and the security order. And the China-US rivalry, take war is there, South China Sea conflict that is going on. Israel-Hamas war started in 2023. Still, there are talks of some mediation, but still there is no end to it. India balanced relation while supporting humanitarian aid. Now, climate diplomacy, you see COP summits, India's leadership in renewable energy, terrorism. Pahalgam attack showed persistence of cross-border terrorism. Now, guys, with that, we have come to the conclusion, and this conclusion is just going to give you an overview. From the next class, we are going to start with the Nehru era, and how Nehru's foreign policy after independence of India took over. And then after Nehru, we are going to see Lal Bahadur Shastri. After Shastri, we are going to see Srimati Indira Gandhi. After Indira Gandhi, so and so forth. We'll go till PM Modi. And after going through all the foreign policy, we are going to go to different places. First, we'll start with the Indian neighbors, and then we'll go to India and the world countries. Okay. So that is how we are going to go ahead. What we have concluded till now. We have seen India has moved from idealistic non-alignment to pragmatic regional power to being multi-aligned global player. And you have to understand one thing. India is friend of Israel, and India also supports Palestine. India is friend with Russia, and India also says in the World Forum that it is not the time of war. So how is this possible? This is exactly what a foreign policy or what international relation is. It's like a chess move, and it's very interesting. Believe me, it's very interesting, and it will be more interesting if you subscribe to these classes. If you're liking it, you should like it. If you want the PDF of these classes for free, you can join our Telegram channel, and the link is in the description. And if you have any question, you feel free to call us on this number, and you can talk to any of the educator. And if you are preparing for UPSC, TSPSC, okay, or APPSC examination, for one-on-one live mentorship by Deepika ma'am, who is having 20 plus years of experience, whom even we consider as our mentor, who has guided almost hundreds of aspirants into the administrative services, it will be something which will really help you boost your preparation towards the administrative services. So don't waste any time. You can call on the number given below. At least you can inquire if you are interested in it, and like it, subscribe so that we meet again, and keep working hard. Thank you so much.